Check my mirror here. Story time. That's what's happening. Yes, I am sitting in my car. And I'm talking to you like I'm at some sort of like car show and I'm too lazy to get out of my car. And no, you're my buddy, just stand there. So, hey, how's it going? Good to see you. Yeah, it is a blower on a small block. Runs pretty good. You know, it's funny, speaking of blowers on small blocks, Josh, Pirates Cove, asked me about, he was looking back through some old videos I did. Okay, so when I first set up YouTube channel was like 2014, I think. And it was only to be like a posting thing so I could host. It was a place where I could drop videos and stuff that I took, so then I could take that, have a link, and put them somewhere else, like on a forum, or send them to my friends that, you know, wanted to see a video, where I couldn't just send them a video because the file was too large on your phone or whatever, and I didn't know how to do it on my computer. So this is how I did it. I just set it up that way. So he was back looking through some older ones, and I had done like a video of a black Nova. It's an old drag car that had stickers and stuff all over it, and I think like a stripe or something, and it's got a blown small block in it. In fact, it's the blown small block on my YouTube or Facebook avatar. It's one of them anyway. It's got the Edelbrock valve covers upside down. In fact, that motor is in the video I did of his stuff snooping around in that 67 Camaro. It's in that red Camaro now. It wasn't that Nova. And no, that's not the black Nova that he dreamed of building his whole life. That's that blown big block one in the video. That black Nova was a sacrificial animal that when he built his blower car and he tubbed it, the black one, the shiny black one with the big block, the trunk, there was something wrong with the trunk. And that race car, he bought that race car that was an old race car that hasn't been raced since like '86. He bought it for its trunk lid so he could have something about the trunk hinges with the tubs wouldn't work, but that car had a different style trunk lid that would work. So he bought that car just for the parts. Then he put, because that other drag car isn't tubbed, he put that's what it was. The drag car had a fiberglass deck lid, and the one that he built didn't, so he couldn't use his trunk like normal, so he swapped trunks and put the steel deck lid on the race car and took the fiberglass one and put on that blown Nova. But that Nova has a story, and I told Josh I'd tell it. So here's what happened. 2017, I got really sick, and I was almost dying, actually. My internal organs were shutting down, and it was a mess. I don't want to get into that. We left here and went to the mainland over there, and while we were there, we ended up kind of moving back to Idaho for a little bit because my doctor was in eastern Idaho. And while we were there in Boise area, my father-in-law, he ended up with like dementia. I probably told you that. So we ended up going back and forth to Idaho Falls to help him. And then once he was situated and squared away, we came back to Hawaii after I was also treated and everything was fine. So during that time living in Idaho, he ended up with that race car. Did the trunk swap, but that car was just a shell. And one day he called me up, just like we had done when we were young. He's like, "Hey, come over. I want to put that other Nova together." And I was like, "Okay." He said, "I got another blower, and I want to stick it on a small block and stick it in that race car because it has a full manual valve body trans in it and some gears and slicks. It's basically a roller without a motor and tranny. Had it without a motor, had a tranny in it." And I said, "Okay." So I swung over there and I'm looking around for a small block, and I go, "Which motor are we going to put together? What are you going to put in?" He goes, "Oh, we're going to take this motor on the ground right here, and we're going to put it in that '67 Chevy pickup." But that motor in that 67 Chevy pickup we need to take out because that's the one we're going to put the blower on and stick it in this Nova. And I said, so I'm doing 2 motor swaps to get 1 motor to go in the Nova. He's like, uh-huh. And I said, okay, let's do it. He's like, well, we need to get ready. I go, we're ready, let's go. He doesn't like that because he works fast, but I work really fast. And he doesn't like it when I work really fast because it makes him work. He has to work. And he kind of forgot that because I'm like, let's go, let's do it. I mean, if you want, that's what you want to do, let's do it. So in like an hour, I had the other motor out of the truck. And another half hour later, I had that small block in the other truck and running. I think it was like 2 hours total was the swap, and the engine was running in that 67, and we pushed it back, or drove it back outside. It was just a good running stock small block. The motor we took out was like forged guts and had a decent cam and stuff like that. And I didn't think it sounded that choppy when I heard it. And then that day I stuck it in the Nova. That afternoon I had the motor in the Nova. And then we didn't have like a blower gasket. We didn't have all sorts of stuff. So I made a gasket. We went to the blower shop because they had moved to Idaho and got like some drive pulleys and a few other things like that. He had another blower crank hub, and we ended up getting the right ratio pulleys to underdrive it. I think we underdrove it like 12% or something, or 10%. And put it together and got some Carter 750s on it, or maybe they're Edelbrocks. And jetted them the same rods and whatever, and got it running and hooked it up. And that was it. That car, then you see those videos that are on that are of it firing up and moving under its own power for the first time. The one where it backs out of the dirt lot in front of the shop. That was right after we fired it up. I actually have videos of that the following morning. The whole thing, before we moved it, the whole engine was covered in frost. Blower and everything, just completely covered in snow, or not snow, but frost. But it runs pretty good. And then that car ended up going down the road. The guy that's building him the shop, I think, or somebody else came by and wanted that car because he painted it black, just like the other one. He wanted the car as a roller and didn't want the blower motor. So he pulled the motor and tranny out of it and sold it as a roller to somebody else and put the motor and tranny in that red Camaro. And that's that story. Not a really awesome story. I never got to even ride in that thing or drive it. He just went up and down the street in it and then painted it. I don't think he did anything else with it. It wasn't fast. Like kind of like this, 500 horsepower maybe at the most. That one's probably was less because it was pretty much a stock motor with a baby cam and all that. But I mean, it had a little more boost than this does because it's lower compression. But if it made 4.5, 500, yay. I doubt it. Yeah, pretty good story. He's like that. That guy's like that. He used to do that all the time to me. Come over, let's check this out. Oh, let's put this together. Okay. Let's do it. Oh, no, I didn't mean like right this minute. You said you wanted to do it, let's do it. Oh, okay. And then he has to work. But I'm slow as molasses working on my own stuff. I don't work very fast on my own cars. Unless I have to because I'm driving them every day. But yeah, that's it for that story. Hey, there was something else I forgot to mention was those two. Okay, so I'm gonna put 3 videos up at the end of this. Jose sent them to me. They're about his blower car. So he's got the picture of it. It's on one of his lifts running, I think. It must have been a transmission, or he did something else. I think he swapped the tranny. I don't know what he did. He was doing something. He just sent me a video of it running, and it's running like really, really high, idle. I don't know maybe he changed carbs, or I don't know what he was doing. So there's that video when it's unpainted, still stock drag car stuff. And then there's a second video of it in his paint booth when he painted it black. And that is, the second video. He's walking around it. It's in the paint booth. The third video is the black big block Nova and the black small block Nova sitting together outside in the same spot where the black one's sitting right now, and you'll see the reason why I had to build his blower for him. You'll see. So he's the type of guy that you don't want. He's not malicious or mean if you get on his backside. It's nothing like on his bad side. It's nothing like that. He always remembers, and he'll never do anything for that person ever again. And if somebody asks him about that, he tells them the truth about what that person did or said or whatever. And in this case, it's the blower shop. And they didn't treat him right. They tried to screw him over. And because, I mean, well, let's look at it this way. Business sense, they followed their policies. They don't put together somebody else's stuff with old stuff or some other manufacturer's new stuff. Like the blower shop's not going to put, in his case, they're not going to put brand new Wien parts on an old blower, even though they do advertise that they'll build a blower for you. They'll take your old blower and they'll refurbish it and put it together. What they want to do is sell you their new parts to put inside your old blower, and eventually step it up to where, you know, they upscale you to, well, your case is bad or your end plates are bad. You need a complete, you know, blower from us. You can use your manifold, but you need a complete blower. I mean, they're in the business selling stuff. They're not in the business of really helping anybody out, which is too bad because they moved to Idaho where, you know, when we were growing up, you knew your neighbors and everything was done by a handshake. If you told somebody something, you know, your word was your bond. A handshake was just as good as a, you know, that was the same as like a contract with shaking hands. And so that's the way he still operates. And those guys, in his mind, they told him one price. He took his stuff up there, and they gave him a price that was, I think, double or triple what the original told him. And, you know, that didn't sit right with him. So he got back with them, or got back at them, you know, as malicious as he's going to get, and you'll see what he did. But yeah, that's this video. That's your story time right there. That's it. I'll probably give you another one tomorrow because I got some stuff in the mail, and I want you to see it. It's pretty special. See you guys later. Have a good weekend.